Well, Tadum. It's 11:29 p.m. on May 31st, 2025, half hour to the first day of June. June is my favorite month of the year because it is one of my favorite months of the year. I guess October probably more my favorite month of the year, but June is up there because my birthday. And I hate summer. It's for the beginning of summer, the excitement of end of school for the kids, summer camps, stuff like that. But mostly my birthday and then Father's Day when I became a father, stuff like that. My dad's birthday, my mother-in-law's birthday, anniversaries galore. This year is going to be even more special. My daughter's going to be graduating from high school on Wednesday, and we'll have her graduation party on Saturday. And we're going to go see Chicago, the touring group of Chicago at the Hippodrome on Friday. So we got some stuff coming up. Got some good movies coming out this month. Good food and drink. And fun stuff like that. But June is also Pride Month, and those in power now who are homophobic pieces of shit are trying to shut down the specialty months for people. They tried to shut down Black History Month. They tried to shut down Women's Month. They're trying to shut down Pride Month. They're thinking that they can just go ahead and do it. People aren't going to notice that it's happening, but people are noticing it. So I want to show my with the Pride people. I'm wearing my Pride shirt. And I got a text from my daughter. So speaking of the devil, just talking about her. So good on that. So here we are, June 1st. It is meteorological summer starts June 1st. Summer actually begins June 21st, June 20th every 4 years on leap years. So here we go. Today was Tadum, Netflix's convention sort of thing where they show some stuff and new trailers and new dates and stuff like that. Been kind of low key so far from what I've seen because it's still going on right now since we're out in California where it's only 8:30. So there still might be some stuff rolling up here. And if I don't get it by the end of the show, here it is. But here's the stuff that already came out. The biggest story is Stranger Things Season 5 got their first teaser trailer, the majority of which was scenes from previous seasons. There was a couple, some new photography in it, not much, some new scenes in it, not much. The most important thing about it is the dates officially from Netflix. Part 1 will be released on Wednesday, November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Part 2 will be released on Christmas Day. I am assuming they're going to be advertising the shit out of it during the football games. There's 2 football games on Netflix, the early and mid game. The 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games are on Netflix. So this will be after the 4 o'clock game, the 8 o'clock. You're going to want to stay on Netflix to watch part 2 of Stranger Things, but that's not the finale. They've decided to release the finale as a standalone day on December 31st at 8 p.m. So you've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all showing up here. And kind of funny that they are debuting the final episode right before we switch to a new year. So that's kind of interesting. So that's a new thing. So we'll probably see more Stranger Things stuff in the coming months. But as of now, those are the dates officially from Netflix. So Wednesday, November 26th, day before Thanksgiving, the first part, which is genius. The second part, Christmas Day, after the football games, that's also genius. And then the final episode of Stranger Things ever will be released on New Year's Eve, all 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Wake Up Dead Man, the new Benoit Blanc movie, got a very quick teaser trailer, which had very kind of Sinners vibes to me. And looks a little bit different than the previous Knives Out movies. This one is releasing on my daughter's birthday, December 12th, 2025. Netflix. Don't know if it's going to be released in theaters before then. The director, Ryan Johnson, would really, really like it to be released in movie theaters before it shows up on Netflix. So maybe they'll show it around Thanksgiving. Potentially that'll give it a couple weeks before you drop it on Netflix on the 12th of December. My daughter likes the series, so it'd be a nice birthday present for her, and good first semester of college finale thing going on there. So good on that. We get the first 6 minutes of Wednesday season 2's first episode, which basically told a whole story for the most part. It starts off with Wednesday tied up and gagged with blood coming out of her eyes in the basement, a dark basement, surrounded by all these dolls at a round table. And she's narrating that she is being held hostage by a serial killer, which is a dream come true. And then it flash forward 6 weeks earlier, where she moves her way through the TSA and shows off all her knives and thing and all that stuff, and then meets the serial killer and tries to capture him, whatever. She gets captured, but in the end she escapes and ends up killing him instead. So it's interesting. We also learned that her psychic abilities are much more honed. She just received them in the first season, so second season she honed them a little bit more. So interesting stuff. Directed by Tim Burton, who's directing the first episode, I believe. So definitely a little darker than I was expecting, but okay. One Piece Season 2, the live action version, which we thought was going to debut in December 2025, has now been unceremoniously shifted to 2026. I guess with all the stuff that is coming out in 2025, that this is probably the best move on their part. We got the first appearance of the Terry. What is that character's name? Terry something or other. Completely CGI character. Oh well, not worried about, but I think I wrote it down elsewhere in my book. We also got our first look at Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, the first trailer with that, with Oscar Isaac and Mia Goth and Jacob Arondi. We don't know an exact date. It'll be out in November. I'm assuming probably closer to Thanksgiving, I would assume, as well. So you got that coming up. Enola Holmes 3 has officially started production with Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown and Helena Bonham Carter. So they're all coming up there. Talk about that. Squid Game Season 3 trailer, the newest one, debuted this week at Tadum also. June 27th is when that's coming out. Oh, there it is. The Tori Chopper, Tony Chopper, fully CGI character. So we got that. Happy Gilmore Season 2 full-length trailer also debuted. Got a little bit more of the story. So that's July 25th as well. So we have that too. I think that's all the Tadum stuff they've released so far. Those are all the ones I remember right off the top of my head. America Brave New World hit Disney Plus this week. So go ahead, if you've been waiting for it to come out, please check it out. Well worth it. The new Golden Trio was announced this week also, the new Harry Potter crew. Dominic McLaughlin is going to be playing Harry. Annabella Tadum is going to be playing Hermione. And Alistair Stout is going to be playing Ron. So we've got our cast of the Golden Trio. So they are now set, and production can start very soon. We get our first trailer for Dexter's Resurrection, set to debut July 11th on Paramount Plus, I believe. We also got the Good Fortune trailer from Aziz Ansari with Keanu Reeves as an angel who wants to do more good than what he is doing, and also co-star Seth Rogen. It's comedy, obviously. Haley Steinfeld and Josh Allen are officially husband and wife. They got married today, May 31st. Mazel tov to you too. You kept your relationship private, which is great. And we got to see the two of you on the red carpet for Sinners, which was really cool. And Hailee has been popping up at Buffalo games, and she's been absolutely embraced by Buffalo. And she, in turn, has embraced Buffalo. So they're all doing it right there. So congratulations to the happy couple. Sydney Sweeney will be selling 5,000 bars of Dr. Squatch soap that has drops of her bath water in it. If you've seen her Dr. Squatch commercials, she is naked in a bubble bath full of bath water, and they are taking that bath water and injecting it into 5,000 bars of soap and selling it as a Sydney Sweeney bathwater bar. I'd like to have some Sydney Sweeney in bathwater, but that's besides the point. Alex Ovechkin, one of the greatest hockey players of all time. Hello, Pepper. You can see his tail. Is set to retire after the end of next hockey season. So this upcoming season will be his last season. So we're going to be hearing all about that. It'll be a whole farewell tour, I'm sure. He now holds the records for most goals scored by a hockey player all time. So, hi, Pep. You've been missing your family. My wife and son are camping, and my daughter's helping up at her summer camp that she works at for Cubs weekend. So I have the house to myself, and I have the kitty. My big boy. You're on TV? Look. You see yourself on TV? Oh, shit. There you are. Hi. I'm Pepper. So my lap. Okay. Let me get my face. Here we go. Send Help. Sam Raimi's newest horror film with Dylan O'Brien and Rachel McAdams has finished production. I love you. I tried the Utz lemonade potato chips. They're okay. They're not brilliant. They aren't outstanding. But the food scientist in the family, my wife, who works with these types of chemicals all the time and has a very good palate, says it's very salt and vinegar flavor. And I start thinking about that. It's like, yeah, she's not that far off on that. So there it is. But it is for good causes. It's for that lemonade stand that kid set up to help fight cancer or something like that. We had some vicious weather and global warming stuff happen this week. Austin, Texas had a microburst storm drop a ton of rain on the town, as well as massive amounts of hail, making it look like a massive snowstorm had hit, but it was just hail. And a glacier collapsed, demolishing the small town of Blatten, Switzerland. Much like, it reminded me a lot of Dante's Peak, which was a small town built at the peak of a extinct volcano, and then the volcano erupts and destroys the entire town. This sort of had vibes like that, but instead of it being a volcano, it was a glacier that broke off due to climate change and global warming and stuff like that. So that's not cool, and there's video of all that stuff out there. Anniversaries. Cal Ripken's streak started on May 30th, 1982, 43 years ago this week, where he became played the most games straight without a break. A Quiet Place Part 2 debuted 4 years ago this week. Lots of death this week, so I'm going to go backwards to one that hit me the hardest. Ronald Fenty, Rihanna's dad, passed away this week. Alf Clausen, the musical composer for The Simpsons, passed away this week as well. Todd Smith, a comic book artist from Marvel and DC, passed away this week as well. Valerie Mahaffey, actress who played Eve on Northern Exposure, was in Young Sheldon, was in the movie Jungle to Jungle, was in an episode of Seinfeld. And let's see what else Valerie Mahaffey did. She won an Emmy for her role as Eve on Northern Exposure. She was on Newhart, Quantum Leap, Cheers, Seinfeld, Dream On. Was the main character in The Powers That Be. Did 5 episodes of Northern Exposure. Was in LA Law. Wings for 3 episodes. The Client for 4 episodes. 4 episodes of ER. An episode of Ally McBeal. She played Janet Rove in That's My Bush. That's awesome. If you don't know what that is, That's My Bush is the creators of South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, did a live action sitcom of George W. Bush as president, and she played Janet Rove. That's outstanding. She was in The West Wing, Seabiscuit, Frasier, CSI. She was in 9 episodes of Desperate Housewives. United States of Terror, Boston Legal, Hannah Montana. She was all over the place. Glee, she was in 3 episodes. Grey's Anatomy, Workaholics, The Mindy Project, The Man in the High Castle, recurring role in Young Sheldon, 9 episodes of Dead to Me, main role in Big Sky, which I think her most recent major thing. So, I'm sure you've seen her if you've seen her, but I know her most as Eve from Northern Exposure, and also as the mom in Jungle to Jungle. Loretta Swit, who played Hot Lips Houlihan in MASH, also passed away this week as well. And then the big one that really hit me today, I'm going to talk about a little bit about this today, was earlier this week, at the beginning of the week. My favorite comic book writer and pretty damn good novelist, Peter David, passed away this week. Peter David's most famous for his 10-year Hulk run, where he reinvented the character. He also created Young Justice. He worked on Supergirl. He was on Fallen Angel, Sax and Violins, Soul Searchers. He did many stories of Spider-Man, including the classic Death of Jean DeWolf and the classic storyline where he created a serial robber who was dressed as Santa Claus, who would go to kids' windows saying he's Santa Claus to let him in. To make sure they've been a good kids, tie him up, steal their stuff, and go away. He also wrote The Commuter, which is one of the funniest Spider-Man comics of all time. Spider-Man is a big city superhero, but then he follows a criminal into the suburbs and is totally lost what to do in the suburbs. It's hilarious. What else was he famous for? Aquaman. He gave Aquaman the hook hand, and made him a little mystical here and there as well. So he was involved with that too. Also wrote the Atlantis Chronicles, which is the official history of Atlantis in the DC universe. He co-wrote DC versus Marvel with Ron Mars. I'm probably missing a whole bunch of stuff. I'm probably missing a whole heaping load of comics that he wrote. Dreadstar, he did he revamped Dreadstar. Honestly, can't think. I think he wrote some issues of the Star Trek comic book series. He was a consistent guest at Shore Leave, which up until a couple years ago was consistently up at Hunt Valley. So he was there all the time. Never went to see him, which is a shame. It's one of the things I wish I would have done because he was my favorite comic book writer. But he also wrote novels. He's most famous for his Star Trek New Frontier series of books where he was given the keys to a brand new Star Trek franchise, which he wrote the way he wanted to, using some characters from previous iterations, but created most of them on his own. He also wrote a series of books about King Arthur in present day, where he runs for president. He wrote Howling Mad, about a man who bites a wolf, and the wolf becomes a werewolf, taking a sort of a twist on the werewolf saga. He wrote the Sir Apropos of Nothing, very satirical, dry fantasy books. I feel like I'm really missing some big stuff here. He also worked on a TV show with Bill Mummy called Space Cases that was on Nickelodeon. I loved it. The last 2 seasons. He worked on a couple of movies based on the Oblivion world. He wrote some books on Spike and Illyria, and played around in the Buffy universe a little bit. And he's probably done a bunch of other stuff that I can't think of right now, top of my head, while I'm trying to think of this. But he's written basically almost every character there is to write, and he's done it really, really well. And he's one of my favorite writers, and he will be missed. All right, next up. Sabrina Carpenter could be in Mamma Mia 3. There's talks that they're going to be doing a Mamma Mia 3 and put Sabrina Carpenter in there. Okay, that'll work. Gen V Season 2 trailer from Amazon debuted this week. The Rip trailer with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon debuted this week. I didn't get to see it, but there we go. Scott Conn and Elizabeth Debicki have joined the cast of David Fincher's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel. The War Between Land and Sea trailer, a Doctor Who spinoff, was released this week. Black Phone 2 trailer debuting in October, debuted this week. Jason Schwartzman and Celine Bookless have been cast in Telemasca, The Secret Order, the new Anne Rice series coming to USA. LSU college baseball has done something that no one has ever done in the history of sports. They were a perfect 59-0 in their baseball season this year, winning the championship and all that. But they won every single one of their games, did not lose a game this season. For football, that is, for baseball, that is pretty impressive. Ariana Grande is set to join Meet the Parents 4 with Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro. What the heck were you doing there, Kat? Don't know what role or what capacity, but she will be there. The original Broadway cast of Hamilton will be performing at the Tonys this year. Eddie Murphy's son has officially married Martin Lawrence's daughter, which makes Eddie and Martin in-laws officially. Megan Thee Stallion gets her own Amazon anime. Big news for Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift got all her music back. She was able to repurchase the rights to her original recordings back from Scooter Braun for $360 million for basically what he paid for them. So she didn't lose any money really. But she has all her music back now, which leaves the final 2 of her Taylor version albums up in the air, particularly Reputation. She wrote a little thing about Reputation, which was an album that came at a strange time in her life, and she really feels it is perfect and does not need to be redone now that she has the rights back. She really doesn't need to do it. She did say she did complete the remake of her first album she ever did, but again, she's not sure if she's going to re-release that because she does have the rights again. At the same time, it's like, it was good, but again, not sure if it's really needed to do that. So congratulations to her. Clint Eastwood has not retired from directing. Everybody was thinking that Juror number 2 was going to be the final movie that he directed, considering he's 95 years old. But he announced this week that he is presently in pre-production on a new movie, which he's going to be directing. He will not be retiring from the film industry, maybe after this one, but we'll see. Laura Linney has been cast in Lanterns. She is more than likely going to be playing Carol Ferris, who is the girlfriend of Hal Jordan, considering the actor who's playing Hal Jordan is 59 years old. Laura Linney is 61. So it'd be close enough relationship for the two of them. We get the Merv trailer, which is a dog upset that his owners are breaking up, starring Charlie Cox and Zoe Deschanel. Kane Brown joins Taylor Lautner in the Token Groomsman rom-com. Pop-Tarts will be re-releasing their Frosted Blue Raspberry, which I do not remember at all, but having a Fantastic Four spin on it. So when that comes out, I will definitely try those. We get our new Elio trailer, which I thought was opening on the 13th, but is actually opening on my birthday, June 20th. It's a new Pixar film about a boy who doesn't fit in on Earth, who wants to get abducted by aliens, becomes well-loved there, and then has to take on a warlord trying to take over the planet that he's on. Toby Huss has been cast as the new voice of Dale in the King of the Hill revival. The actor who played Dale in the original King of the Hill has passed away, so they need to recast the voice. Toby Huss is the voice of some of the minor characters, including the racist dad and the Asian guy. So he's familiar with the cast and crew. He's now going to be playing Dale. We got our first look at the opening credits for the new King of the Hill revival. So, whatever. Coca-Cola has created a recyclable soda machine, which is when you're done your soda, you can put the cans and bottles in the machine, and it'll hold about 300 of them. It'll get emptied, they'll take it out, and they'll recycle it into other stuff. So that's good for that. An Alaska man is unscathed after being pinned for 3 hours by a 700-pound rock. Alaska people are a whole different breed now, aren't they? An ancient Mayan city has been uncovered in Guatemala, which includes a canal system and pyramids. So more to come on that, obviously. The season finale of Doctor Who came out this week, and I'm a little pissy about it. I haven't been watching Doctor Who, which is my own fault, but I just haven't. But I saw some of the Ncuti Gatwa Doctor Who, thought he was going to take it in a whole new direction and would have been a great one to do it for a while. This was his final episode, spoiler alert. So he only lasted 2 seasons. Not sure what the issues were. I've been seeing a lot of different things. One was that he wanted to go to his acting, focus more on other acting. Another was that because of the racist policies of the shitty people in charge now, it is coming a little bit problematic, and the ratings are down, and the racists are blaming it on a gay black actor playing Doctor Who, and it's very woke, which, don't get me started on all that bullshit. So he Oh, it was you, Pepper. Okay. Just want to make sure. Put that over there. So they had an appearance by Jodie Whittaker, who was the female Doctor Who that also kind of got blackballed as well from the show, from the same sort of misogynistic, racist assholes. And we also have what appears to be him regenerating into Billie Piper, who was Rose in the original series with Chris Eccleston. But she was not called to be the Doctor. We only saw her face, so we think there's something more going on to there than that. But that's what it is. So there's a lot of not sure what's going on about that stuff, and kind of disappointed that Ncuti only got to do 2 series. He seemed to be a well-liked doctor. So as I told you before, coming up this week, this month actually, in about 2 minutes, the end of the month, my family will be going to summer camp, and I'll have the whole week here alone with Pepper. It's July 4th week, which is on a Friday this year. So I will be taking off that whole week from work, get my vacation in. I can do whatever I want to, and I will be using it to watch movies. And I did a little bit of practice today. I watched 5 movies today. 2 I'd seen before, 3 I had not. And we'll talk briefly about the three I had not, because I liked the majority of them. First up was The Adam Project, a film that came out, I think, in 2022 on Netflix. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy teaming up again on a series that reunites Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo from 13 Going on 30. And then the actor who plays Percy Jackson, who does a killer mimic of Ryan Reynolds, was cast in it as well. Zoe Saldana pops up as Ryan Reynolds' character's wife, and Catherine Keener comes in as the bad guy. So really good cast, great direction. Ryan Reynolds should only work with Sean Levy. They've done 3 movies together. He did Free Guy, which is a great film. Did this one, Apollo Project, and then Deadpool and Wolverine. So, and they are working on a 4th one. So we'll see how that comes together. But he is the absolute perfect director for Ryan Reynolds. It's Apollo Project, or The Adam Project, was outstanding. Real quick premise is a little bit like The Kid, but kind of reversed. The future self of a 12-year-old comes to visit him, and he gets caught up in a intergalactic war, time travel war, which all started with their dad, who was killed in a car accident. It also has a lot to do with grieving and finding your way. But a really great film. Teared up a little bit, particularly near the end, which was outstanding. Really, really enjoyed the movie. Will watch it multiple times. Again, it's one of my favorites. The Wild Robot was another really good one I saw on Netflix. Was one that I've been wanting to watch for a while. Also got me teary-eyed up really good. A whole lot better than I thought it was going to be. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's cool. It's like a Miyazaki thing. There's no dialogue, and I thought it was going to be like a Flow-esque sort of thing. But then they showed another trailer with the animals talking. I was like, oh, God, they had to ruin it. But it's not ruined. It's actually makes perfect sense, because the robot learns their language. That way she's able to talk to them, and she ends up having to take care of a runt gosling with the help of a sneaky fox named Fink, and deal with all the forest animals around her, who create sort of a mini family, which is outstanding. It's a great movie, beautifully animated, wonderful drawings, artwork. Just as good as Flow. Well deserved for its Oscar nomination, though it did lose to Flow, but an outstanding film. That's my cat. Finally, I saw Beetlejuice. I am the biggest Tim Burton fan, but his last few movies have been kind of disappointing, to be fair. Wednesdays was pretty decent, but only did a couple episodes of that, and we'll see how these new season is. But Beetlejuice starts off kind of slow, picks up really good in the middle, and the end sort of kills it for me a little bit too. But again, Michael Keaton doing Beetlejuice was fantastic. Seeing Winona Ryder again as an older Lydia Dietz, who hosts a ghost hunter sort of show, which is really cool, because she has gained a psychic ability, not really psychic ability, but a ability to see ghosts and talk to them due to traumatic events like that. She has a daughter played by Jenna Ortega, coming right from Wednesday to Beetlejuice. Filmed around Halloween, so it is technically a Halloween movie. Willem Dafoe pops up. Monica Bellucci's the bad guy, one of the bad guys. Dan DeVito has a cameo in it. And they dealt with the death of Jeffrey Jones's character, because he is been ostracized as a pedophile, and they're not going to put him in the movie, so they killed him off. But they still followed him around a little bit, even though you knew it wasn't really him. But and Justin Theroux was a terrible character, but he was supposed to be and very annoying character when it came to that. And Bob is one of my new favorite characters as well. I felt bad for what happened to him. But the MVP, the superstar of the movie, the one who stole the show, and should be expected because she is a veteran, has been doing this for years, and she is so good. Catherine O'Hara was phenomenal as reprising her role as Delia, the stepmother of Lydia. She was very annoying in the original Beetlejuice. This one, she was the MVP. She was outstanding. She was the best part of the movie. Absolutely loved her. And the fact that she also voices a character in The Wild Robot also made my day as well. One of my favorites, she voiced the possum who's dealing with her kids and gives motherly advice to the robot. It's Catherine O'Hara's movie. She is phenomenal in it. And it was just okay. I gave it 4 stars on 5 stars just because the middle part got really, really good once we got introduced to Jenna Ortega's storyline. But there was just something about it that just seemed off for a Tim Burton movie. A lot of the aerial shots of the town, I wasn't a big fan of that. The Danny Elfman score was okay, but it wasn't decent. He did have one good sort of reprise of Lydia Discovers when Jenna Ortega's character discovers the model in the attic. Was a pretty decent version of it, but other than that, the music was just kind of there. It didn't stand out to me in any way. Still good, still Tim Burton love, but Catherine O'Hara steals that movie and is really, to me, one of the only reasons to go see that movie. Michael Keaton doing Beetlejuice was fine. Not much else I could say about that. Willem Dafoe's character was also fairly decent as a TV star who has become an actual detective in the afterlife, which is interesting. As I said, Jenna Ortega's character, once her storylines picked up, she became a much more interesting character. Lydia was still decent. Winona Ryder was still good. She had a good story arc as well. But the trouble was she intersected with Justin Theroux's character, who I despise entirely. But I'm supposed to, yet it sort of took me out of the movie when he was yammering a little bit. But definitely a decent sequel, though the original is still the best. We even find out what happens to the Maitlands very offhandedly. And we get a better look at the afterlife, which is really interesting, including the Soul Train, which is a intriguing idea. But all 3 movies I watched that were brand new were good in their own ways. Some were better than others. But Catherine O'Hara still had probably the best performance in all the films that I saw this week or today. The other 2 I saw, ones I seen before, The Martian, which is one of my go-to comfort films, and the Lego Movie, which I hadn't seen in a while. The ending to the Lego Movie still is one of the best endings ever, and I still think as Will Ferrell's probably one of his best roles still ever done there. So that's my week. So I watched 5 movies. Could have watched another one, but I had to do research for today's show, and I started late around 10 o'clock or so. So I could have probably done between 7 and 8 movies, depending on how long they were. So that gives me sort of a good gauge of where I can go the week that I'm home by myself. I have a list of movies I want to see, but the more and more I look at the number of movies that I have listed under specific days, is like, there's no way you're going to be able to see all these movies. So I'm going to have to start making some hard choices. So we'll find out more about that in a little bit, but definitely some decent films to watch this week. Deaths, Renee Victor. She was the voice of Coco, one of the voices in Coco. She passed away this week. Bruce Logan, Star Wars effects guy, who also worked on 2001, passed away. Anniversaries, Wrong Turn came out 22 years ago this week. Now You See Me came out 12 years ago this week. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse came out 2 years ago this week. That is one I will be watching at the end of June. I will also be watching the Jurassic World movie in the movie theaters when that comes out. And we'll see if I get a chance to see the Phoenician Scheme, The Life of Chuck, and maybe Elio in movie theaters as well. Liev Schreiber, Zazie Beetz, and Stephen Graham are set to star in a serial killer drama for Apple Plus TV. Avatar: Last Airbender live action has finished their season 2 and have automatically jumped right into season 3, but they have recast one of their main roles with Adam Beach. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. We'll get to see this trailer on Tuesday. The teaser they gave to us is very gorgeous, has a great song to it, and it's Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. So I can't wait to see that trailer on Tuesday. I'll talk about that more next week. Jalen Best is Muhammad Ali, Reno Wilson, Erica Tazil, Omar Hardwood, Giovanni Ribisi, Alec Punovic, Michael Ealy, Carrie Parham, Amen Joseph, Dan Gorman have all starring in the Muhammad Ali Amazon limited series show. So that's coming up here soon. Resurrection Road is a supernatural Civil War thriller starring Malcolm Goodwin, Michael Madsen, Jeff Daniel Phillips, Randy Wayne, Ronnie Jean Blevis, Okia Ernie, Carrie, Randall J. Byrne, Folly Mack, Triana Brown, and Devontae Birch and Brian Tarson Jones started that about a group of former slaves who go after a house that is supposedly housing a Confederate group, but actually ends up having a dark secret to it. We got first look at Washington Black, Sterling K. Brown's new show about a freed slave who has a lot of science knowledge and the adventures he goes on. Jocko Sims joins the cast of Little House on the Prairie. Kit Connor, who was the voice, one of the voice of the Gosling in The Wild Robot, is set to star in Elden Ring movie based on the video game directed by Alex Garland. Strange Berry Fudge Stripe cookies that are going to be based around the Superman movie are going to be coming out here soon, too. We got to first look at the Home trailer, Pete Davidson horror film. We also get our first look at, this was not with Tadum, it should have been. They should have waited till then, but they wanted to get out there early. The Thursday Murder Club, based on the best-selling novel, the film adaptation directed by Chris Columbus, who did the Harry Potter movies and the Home Alone movies. Directs with a stellar cast. Set to debut August 28th. We get our first look at that in the trailer. It's pretty good. Robot boxing apparently is a thing now. Where you have two AI robots boxing each other, and you put money and stuff on it. We also have foot golf, soccer ball, golf mix, where you kick a soccer ball into a golf hole. Haribo gummies are recalled due to cannabis contamination. So if you have any of those, you want to get a contact high, go ahead and go for it. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Lee Cook are reteaming in a Christmas rom-com called The Christmas Affair. Don't know what that's going to be on, but it sounds like a Hallmark Christmas movie. But it's two of them last worked together, and she's all that. Man sues Whataburger for $1 million because they didn't hold the onions. That's an awesome job, and I should do that the next time someone doesn't hold the onions, because onions are useless, garbage, vegetable, whatever they are. And good for him, though he's not going to win. The new owners of Boom Comics, after they ousted my former colleague, Philip Sablik, are getting rid of digital comics, which is a big blow to the industry and to the fans. Graham King and Ray Winstone are set to team up for an East End crime drama. Colin Trevorrow, who did the original Jurassic World movie, set to direct an Area 51 movie. Was Popeye the most coked up film, according to a behind-the-scenes story? Robert Altman's Popeye film, filmed in 82, 83, which is one of my favorite musicals, starring Robin Williams, Shelley Duvall, Paul Dooley, and Ray Walston. It was supposedly one of the most coked up films. They said that the drugs were passed around in film cases. Don't know how true that is, but it was the early 80s, so anything's possible. So back in 90, I think it was the winter 94, I think. It was winter 94 because I was in my room with in my room with all the friends we had the one side of Moan, and the guys were behind me. The guys who invented the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game literally lived exactly under my dorm room. They were in the basement. They were on the first floor. Brian Turtle, who has become a friend after college, announced that their local brewery is going to be making 6 brews of Kevin Bacon based on the Albright game. So good for Brian. He's had quite a career. He's made a career out of this little goofy thing he and his buddies did. Delta Flight erupts into chaos as a pigeon is released on board the plane and can't get out of the plane. Don't know how it got in the first place, but crazy, man. Dead's Ngugwa Thiong'o, an East African novelist, passed away. Georgia O'Connor, a female boxer, she passed away due to cancer. Chicago Mike, one of the Kool and the Gang band members, died in a car crash this week. Sasha Jenkins, a former founder of Ego Trip magazine, passed away this week as well. Anniversaries. Phil Hartman was murdered 27 years ago this week by his wife. Drag Me to Hell, Sam Raimi's horror film, came out 16 years ago this week. Johnny Mnemonic came out 30 years ago this week. This was Keanu Reeves before he became hugely famous in The Matrix with a very Matrix-X sort of quality storyline. Finding Nemo debuted 22 years ago this week as well. I remember it because my wife and I saw it for the first time on our honeymoon months after it came out. And this week was also my 18th year working at Hanover Uniform. So I got 2 more full pages and then I'm done. It is officially June. It is officially Pride Month. Hooray. Birthday month. Meteorological summer, whatever you want to call it. Some Crystal Lake news. The Crystal Lake sets are being built, which means the show is going to be filming very soon. And William Catlett has also been cast in the Crystal Lake show. So that's good. EA has canceled the Black Panther video game and has dissolved the video game company that was going to make it. Olivia Cooke is taking the place of Micah Monroe in the vampire film Brides. We got our first look at Leanne, a new sitcom for Netflix, set to debut July 31st with Kristen Johnson from Third Rock from the Sun, Leanne Morgan, and Chuck Lorre producing. Superman will show in China, so that's a big hooray for fans of that. And the Snyder Bros are crying in their coffee because right now, Superman, as of now, which is not coming out for another month or so, is set to debut with a $156 to $176 million opening, which is huge and much better than the shitty Zack Snyder Man of Steel movies. So that's good. Keep it going. File this under, I had no idea this was being done. Japan, back in 2022, made a Tom and Jerry anime. And now Cartoon Network has bought the rights to it and will be airing it in the United States. I don't know. It said Cartoon Network, but I thought Cartoon Network was dissolved. Maybe it's going to be something similar. Maybe they're still going to be a name, but they're not officially going to show it on a network. I don't know. Naomi Berlant is the next Emmanuel. Emmanuel is a series of softcore erotic films that were major in the 80s and 90s, but then sort of dissolved for a while. They're bringing them back, and she will be the next new Emmanuel. Oh, The Morning Show season 4, Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon series. Got our first look. Marion Cotillard and Jeremy Irons are joining the cast. A Vincent Price documentary is in the works right now, so we'll be seeing more about that. Jagmo will be the Community Day Pokemon for June, set for June 21st. However, that is my niece's graduation party, so we might be out of luck with that. Billionaire Bunker, set debut September 19th, is a film about the last people on Earth who are billionaires who escape an apocalypse and then can't stand each other. Dan Levy, Taylor Ortega, and Laurie Metcalf are set to star in a new unnamed comedy series. Excuse me. Jensen Ackles is set to debut in a new Amazon series called Countdown. The first trailer for that came out. The Gentleman season 2 has cast Hugh Bonneville, Byron Clinton, and Bernadette Porcanoli. Tanaya Miller has been cast as Jocasta in Vision Quest, and Emily Hampshire has been cast as Edith in Vision Quest. Smoke trailer, Taron Egerton, Junie Smollett, thriller about a agent and a new agent looking for serial arsonists, and the new agent believing that the person she's working with may actually be the serial arsonist. We got our first look at The Pickup, a new Amazon Prime movie set for August 6th, directed by Tim Story, who directed the first Deadpool movie. Set to star Eddie Murphy, Ava Longoria, Kiki Palmer, and Pete Davidson. It's a heist film, and we got our first look at it today. New Pokemon game for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 is set to debut on October 16th of this year, so you'll be able to play it on both. Sinners is set to hit Blu-ray on July 8th. It's supposed to be a digital in a couple days. You can't sit on my notes, buddy. Need some pepper loving. Deadpool Batman and Batman Deadpool comics are coming, one from each company. It's the first DC Marvel crossover in a while. The Marvel one is written by Zeb Wells. One of the worst writers in Marvel history will be writing the Deadpool Batman, but the Batman Deadpool comic from DC will be written by Grant Morrison, one of the best writers. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of comics, Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. are reteaming. They did Kick-Ass. They're reteaming for Psychic Sam, and it's already been set up for a movie adaptation. So, yippee, I guess. Kevin Costner is being sued by a stunt woman after a unwanted and unauthorized rape scene was added in Horizon 2 that she was not signed on for. She was signed on to do some stunts that day, and then they forced her to do this rape scene because they didn't want to get the main actress involved, I guess. Deaths, Rick Derringer, musician who wrote Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo and Hang On Sloopy, passed away. Alex Foster, a Baylor football lineman, passed away at the age of 19 years old. Ed Gale, a little person who played Chucky in the Child's Play movies and Howard in the Howard the Duck movie, passed away. Peter Kwong, a Big Trouble in Little China and Golden Child actor, passed away as well. Anniversaries. Harambe was killed 9 years ago this week. Edge of Tomorrow debuted 11 years ago this week. Rocky 3 debuted 43 years ago this week. Cliffhanger debuted 32 years ago this week, and that brought Sylvester Stallone back from the brink. And that's it for that page. Another death of Verley Tiefenather Thader, a baseball player who I just wanted to say his name passed away today, actually. Just saw it right before I came on the show. So let's see if there's anything new from Tadum that I haven't talked about yet. Nope, that might be... anything else I can see? Oof. An Arizona Diamondback pitcher. 0.0 innings pitched, 6 hits, 8 earned runs. Oh, that's terrible. I don't see anything else. So despite Ncuti Gatwa being no longer Doctor Who, him and his Ruby Sunday are getting Barbie dolls, which is cool. So good on that.
Assuming we're even going to... This guy.
All right. Twisted Metal Season 1, which was only available on Peacock, will be airing on Sci-Fi ahead of the Season 2 premiere in July. So maybe I'll check that out then. Tom Cruise is still hot about doing a Les Grossman project, but he's going to be doing a Days of Heaven or Days of Thunder sequel first, his race car movie that he made with Tony Scott. Netflix has bought Richard Linklater's new film and homage to French cinema called Nouvelle Vogue for a record amount. Mary Lou Retton has been arrested for DUI in West Virginia this week. Thunderbolts hits Disney Plus in August. So for those who are waiting for that, you have until August to see it. I recommend going to see it in the movie theater though, because it is brilliant. Amy Lou Ward and Mia McKenna Brew are in talks to play Patty Boyd and Maureen Starkey in the Beatles movies. Lynn Rainey is teaming with the god-awful, terrible Ezra Miller for a vampire film. It's a bad idea, Lynn. Get somebody else, please. We got our first look at The Eyes of Wakanda, the animated series coming to Disney Plus in July or August. I forget. We got our trailer for Off the Grid with Josh Duhamel, who plays a smart Rambo. That'll be the last one. Because this is the last page, right? Yep. Solo Leveling became the anime of the year. The Godzilla Kong Supernova movie is set to debut March 26th, 2027. The box office last weekend for Memorial Day weekend hit a record $322 million just for the weekend for the top 5 movies that came out that week. So that's pretty good. And it proves that movie theaters seemingly are back. Lilo and Stitch had a pretty decent weekend this weekend. We'll see that the numbers are definitely should be going up as we start seeing more of the girth of summer, particularly July should be a huge month when it comes to film box office. So we'll see about that. Before I get to the last story, we got a bunch of anniversaries and a bunch of death. First up, Monty Python, The Holy Grail, 50 years old this week. Back to the Future 3 debuted 35 years ago this week. The Real World debuted 33 years ago this week. Alien debuted 46 years ago this week. It's the original one. X-Men Last Stand debuted 19 years ago this week. The The Longest Yard debuted 20 years ago this week. That was Adam Sandler's remake. Killer Clowns from Outer Space debuted 37 years ago this week. Madagascar debuted 20 years ago this week. And Casper debuted 30 years ago this week. Also this week, the official Star Wars Day debuted as Star Wars came out 48 years ago this week, and Return of the Jedi debuted 32 years ago this week on the same date, just separate years. Deaths this week: Billy Ray Pritchett, an NFL player, passed away. Horace Speed, Major League Baseball player, passed away this week. Patty Maroney, a little person dancer actor, passed away this week. Charles Rangel, a American politician from Harlem and former war hero, passed away this week. Anna Grace Phelan, a TikToker influencer, died of cancer this week. Phil Robertson died. He was of Duck Dynasty. He passed away this week. And Les Dilley, Star Wars and Raiders Lost Ark art director, died this week as well. Jim Henneman, Orioles beat writer, passed away this week as well. And Gene Marsh, a film legend, British TV film legend, passed away this week as well. The final story this week: monkeys are kidnapping babies of other species on this one island, and scientists are trying to figure out why the hell are monkeys abducting babies from other species. No one knows. Thought that was a weird one to end the day on, but it's definitely an intriguing one. Next week's episode, don't know when it'll be. My daughter's graduation party is on Saturday. I probably can crack out one on Saturday, but I might be too tired to do research because I don't want to be back. So it might not be till Sunday. But we'll see what happens. But my daughter's graduation this week. We're going to go see Chicago this week also, and her graduation party are this week as well. Plus, it's my dad's birthday this week and my mother-in-law's birthday this week as well. So have a good rest of your Sunday. It is June 1st. It is meteorological summer. It is beginning of Pride Month. It is beginning of my birthday month. And it's time for me to go to bed because I'm exhausted. And have a good day.